Talking Podcast. I'm JJ Starr.
And I'm Downtown Andy.
Welcome. And
That's
Sadie's
Sadie.
here. She's here criticizing the way we work. We're doing it live, essentially. We're doing it live today. Good morning.
Good morning. This is going to be a short one because I'm on my break right now.
How are you?
We'll get into that, but the rules.
The rules.
No judgment, nothing personal. Don't be a dick.
There you go.
Gotta knock it out.
What do you want to talk about?
Listen, we missed last week because we just needed a week off. You said it was Labor Day.
Yeah.
We began to record last night, and we almost missed another week because I'm not well. I have been back in therapy for about 2 months. I am seeing a psychiatrist. I'm on a second antidepressant now, and I have not been feeling like myself. I have been irritable. I've been moody. I've been depressed. I've been a range of emotions. My panic attacks are still, as present as they've ever been, and I don't like it. And I don't like how it's affecting my mood and my daily everything.
Understandable. And it happens. People go through shit.
But see, this is all new to me. This is new territory. I've had bouts with depression, anxiety, but we were raised by a generation where you didn't talk about that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Like
I'm going to say yeah.
My therapist pointed out, he's like, all these disorders and diseases that we have nowadays, you know how the last generation fixed that? They beat it out of you. And he couldn't have been more right.
Yeah. I mean, there's no lie detected.
So, and the thing is, a lot of our listeners are people I work with,
yeah.
and they can tell when I'm not myself because I go into work and I don't say a word. I just get to work right away, and I get out of the office as fast as I can so I can come back here and pet her and kiss you and eat cereal. Yeah.
My coworkers see it too when I'm having flare days. So I get that.
You and I had a very volatile argument last night. Mm-hmm. And it's not who we are.
I want to agree with that, yeah. Yeah.
So.
Yeah. But here we are now. And we're doing it.
Mm-hmm.
It sucks. It sucks to have to deal with something that you really, you sort of can't wrap your brain around the idea that anyone actually understands. Like, it's weird and rare to encounter someone who that you can actually believe understands what you're going through. Someone you can actually commiserate with.
Honestly, I feel like I'm still just a number to these doctors and these therapists and these social workers. I feel it because I'm on my second therapist through this program now. Same psychiatrist, but different therapist. Mm-hmm. And every single time we start a session, you can just see them looking to the side of their screen, checking notes, checking the doctor's notes, checking the last therapist's notes. And it's just like, I really feel like just a number. And so it makes it feel like, like we've talked at length before about it being unrealistic for me to see results in a short amount of time.
Yeah.
And I get that. I understand things are going to take time and practice and whatnot, but it doesn't help that, throughout the sessions, it feels like they're just looking for the short answers.
Yeah. And that's just it, is that when you feel that way, one of two things can be happening, in my experience. One of two things can be happening. Either you are not matched properly, which does happen, and you move on, and you sort of suss out the ones who are gonna really help you, and that you're gonna feel that, that ultimate comfort with, or you have to you have to turn inward and discover whether or not you're projecting. Because I've done that. I mean, my first therapist, when I started in 2020, my first therapist basically would ask me a couple of questions. I would talk about what was going on in my head, and she would try to sort of solve me by the end of that session. And then our next session would be like, okay, what's next? And it's like, please don't do that. Like, don't try and put a label on what's wrong with me. Help me get through it. Help me understand it. And it took 6 different therapists for me to get to the one that I've been with for the last 3 years.
And
almost 4 years at this point.
What do you think is the most important aspect of your relationship with this person that keeps you coming back?
Comfort. I don't feel judged, and I don't feel the need or any kind of fear or anxiety about keeping information. I don't lie in therapy. I am 5,000% honest with her. If I am angry, I will tell her exactly why. And I will not believe that she'll judge me. Like if I were to talk to a friend or you or anybody else, anybody about something that's bothering me and why it's bothering me, there's probably going to be a little hint of anxiety that I'm going to be judged, or I'm going to sort of get this, I have to prepare for unsolicited advice, or I have to do this, or I have to do that. My therapist literally, she just listens to me. She lets me just bitch and moan and talk and cry and scream for an hour every week. And when I need help, she gives it to me. She offers suggestions to me, and she knows what my deal is. The way for me personally to work through, the first step for me to start working through any emotional issue is to understand why I'm feeling it. And she guides me to the point where I can understand and I can make those realizations by myself. And outside of our sessions, I can continue to make those realizations, and I can use the leading questions that she asks me. I can use those in the back of my head to be like, okay, am I really feeling this way? Why am I feeling this way? What happened to make me feel this way? Okay, now that I can identify that, what can I do to move past it? Not get over it, just move past it so that it's not affecting my entire day. That's what she does for me, and that's why I've been with her for 4 years.
I had that with a therapist that I saw through work. Okay, 2021 up until we started dating was very, very difficult for me. Not because of COVID or anything. There's a whole lot of other shit going on, but I finally found somebody that I clicked with, that I felt like understood me, that I felt was getting personable with me, and I only got so many sessions out of it. A, because that's all that the program would pay for. B, because he was on the verge of retirement.
Yeah, and I had my second therapist that I had in 2020 was amazing. I never wanted her to go anywhere. And 4 months in, she was like, oh, by the way, I'm leaving for private practice. I couldn't afford to go to private practice, so I had to move on. And it took me 4 other therapists to find the one that I stuck with. But I was determined to find someone. I was convinced that when she was no longer my therapist, I was going to be done. I was never going to find someone who I clicked with as well and everything. And I was never going to get anything out of this. And it was going to be a big waste of time and money. And I stuck with it, and I found what I needed.
See, that thought is always going to be in the back of my head. Because I don't want to be in therapy. I don't want to be spending time and money. Like, I'll talk to anybody. I'll talk to any professional about what's going on. And if they can offer me help, I will tough it out for as long as I can. But that looming thought is always in the back of my head. Like, I don't want to be doing this because I know me. I know what makes me tick. But for the first time in my life, I've lost interest in everything that I normally enjoy.
Yeah.
And I don't know how to process that.
That's a symptom of severe depression.
Like, I've tried explaining in the past these issues to exes, to friends, to my parents, and, it's very seldom that somebody really is able to offer up something that can help me cope or help me move on or help me improve. But, I've always had a lot of time just to be in my own head. Mm-hmm. And it's this is a transitory period for me where I'm unfamiliar with these parts of myself and how to progress.
I'm a realist. I'm an optimist, but I'm absolutely a realist at my core. And when it comes down, to depressive episodes and things like that, and I've experienced them recently. And, I lose interest. I have to force myself to do things, even get out of bed. And it's difficult, but it took me a long time to realize that what I need to do is just make myself aware of what I'm feeling, identify why I'm feeling it, and just remind myself like a mantra, like an affirmation, that it is survivable and it may take time, but it will pass. It will pass. And it doesn't help me get over it, but it shows me that there's a light at the end of the tunnel, and that eventually that light is going to get closer and closer and closer. And when I see it getting closer, then the optimism kicks in. I know that if I'm going through days where I have depression, where I have pain, where my pain flares up or my GI flares up or anything like that, or any of my symptoms I start piling up on top of each other, I tell myself constantly, the thought I keep in the back of my head that is ever looming is the fact that this is happening, but it will pass.
I love that this dog loves the back scratcher.
Well, she just likes to be touched.
I know, but like I've known dogs to be afraid of back scratchers before this, and she just loves it.
As long as you don't raise it above your head like you're going to swat her, she's not going to be
never.
afraid of it.
I would never.
But that's just it, Like, I can't offer any advice. I mean, I'm not a therapist, but, even if friends were to come to me, if you, as my husband, were to come to me and say, what can I do? I would tell you, I don't know. I don't know. I can tell you what I do, and what I do is just remember that it's all survivable. It will pass. You have to get yourself in the frame of mind to be okay with the fact that it's going to take time to pass. It might take a short time. It might take a long time. But it will pass. Because if you don't give yourself an opening, if you don't give yourself just a chink of light at the end of that tunnel, you're going to stay in the dark. You're going to keep yourself in the dark. And I've tried to impress that on people that I love. And I'm laughed at for that. I'm laughed at for being optimistic and for being able to see that shit does end. That, buckets do refill themselves.
When I think about myself in the last 10 years, I've always been very self-sufficient. I've always been able to pull myself out of whatever funk I've been in. I've always been able to entertain myself, to distract myself, to motivate because I couldn't rely on other people for that for a long time. Oh, she's on the move.
My turn to scratch her.
And, especially in the first 2 years of our marriage, there was nothing wrong with me. I wasn't depressed. I wasn't upset. I wasn't anxious. I was doing everything normally. And then somewhere in this last year, everything just changed.
And I think that personally, if I were in your shoes, to me, the important work would be identifying what changed. Because they say you're supposed to get to the root of these things. Identify what changed. What did. And it may take a long time for you to realize what that is, or for you to figure it out, or figure out how it's affected you, or anything like that.
Like when I talk to my therapist about the panic attacks I have when I'm driving, he goes, well, you must have been in an accident at some point. It's like, yeah, I've been in accidents years and years and years ago, like long before this ever happened. But, the majority of the accidents I've been in have been minor things. I can't possibly see, stopping short or hitting a guardrail or whatever, as something that would drastically affect how I'm processing these things now. I had a major accident back in 2011. Mm-hmm. But between 2011 and 2024, I could drive just fine.
You, in fact, would tell me, you talk about confidence, if I thought that something, was getting too close, or if we were going too fast, or if we were weaving or something like that, or if something, traffic around me, you would tell me, you're a professional driver. You know what you're doing.
Because I drive for a living.
And something is happening. Something is happening in your brain. And who knows what it is? Because the only one who can really identify deep down what it is you. It's just going to take time.
So there's that. And then there's the loss of interest in everything that I don't even know what it is. I remember when my brother died, somebody had told me, somebody close to our family had said, he was buying a whole bunch of crap towards the end to fill that void. And I thought to myself, like, is that what I'm doing? Am I just trying to fill, an emptiness with stuff?
Maybe. But you're the only one who can figure that out. A loss of interest in things that you enjoy is a classic sign of depression. And again, it will pass. Now, if this is a chemical imbalance, which it is sometimes, if it's identified that way, then in time, the medication could help.
See, I'm not convinced of that yet because, I know it's been a short time, but again, like, as we were starting to talk in the episode we recorded last night, I feel like the medication has given me more of a reason to dwell on this whole issue, this whole problem.
Yeah, and I do understand that.
And I started with one, and then after a solid month, the doctor told me to increase the dosage, so I did that. And then I was getting even more depressed than I had been, and had more time to dwell on it and think about it. And then he switched me to a different one, and I've been on that for 10 days now. Now I'm even more irritable than I've been.
Which I believe is also a side effect of that medication. Because that could be a sign that it is starting to correct your chemistry.
I was, before taking any antidepressant, any medication for any of this, my biggest fear was that it was going to change me drastically.
Yeah.
That it was going to change my entire outlook on life, on myself, on everything. It was going to affect us. And I didn't want that to happen. And that's what kept me from considering that as an option for a long time, for going into psychiatry. And I'm putting my trust in the professionals. Mm-hmm. I understand that results are not going to be instantaneous. I get that. But I don't like what it's doing to me in the interim.
And that is perfectly understandable. It is perfectly understandable. But if you're going to stick with it, it's one of those things that you just have to, you have to just be aware of. You step outside of yourself, you look in, and you say, okay, I'm feeling it. I'm feeling this way. It's the medication, and once I level out, it'll be fine. Now, once you level out, if it's not fine, that's a different story. But you got to give it that time. And that's all I was trying to say to you last night, was that this is one of those things that you have the option to give it up, but if you want to see if it's going to help, you have to give it that time.
Deep down, I really do want to give it up. I want this to be, in the rear view.
Well, here's something that I have learned from my years of therapy. It's going to sound kind of silly, but the basic nuts and bolts of it, fake it. I'm dead ass serious. Fake it. Because when it comes down to it, when you know that a depressive episode is going to pass, when you know that pain is going to pass eventually, if you don't want to suffer it in the meantime, fake it. Push yourself to do all of these things. Pretend that you still love things that you've always loved, because you do down still love them. You do still love these things deep down. You just don't have the energy. Your body cannot muster up the mental energy to push yourself to do it. And you know what you do? You fake it. You push yourself through it. You get it done and everything. It's like affirmations. And I told my therapist years ago, I said, I don't do affirmations. I think they're bullshit. What am I going to do? Sit here lying to myself? Oh, I'm going to have a great day today. I know that that's a lie. I don't believe it. I don't feel it. I don't even want it on some level. But I'm going to tell myself repeatedly, I'm going to have a good day today because I want to have a good day today. Fine, sure, whatever. And you know what? If you do it enough, eventually you do start to believe it until you wake up one day and you realize that you actually did believe it all along. You just had to get over the hump. And shit like that does happen. It sounds like hokum, but the fact of the matter is that sometimes it works. Sometimes. But it takes practice. And I've said that through this whole year. You got to practice optimism in order to have it. And optimism will not cure depression if it's a chemical imbalance. That's something that you have to work through with a doctor. And I am only a doctor like Dr. Pepper is a doctor. I can prescribe coffee and dog scratches. That's it. That's all I can give. And honestly, sometimes, some days, that's where you need to start. You need to start with something that just calms you. Not even makes you happy. Just soothes you. Soothes you a little bit. I take baths. I take baths with colorful water. And I pet my dog and I spoon her. And I read a chapter in a book that I've been reading for 3 fucking years now and still haven't finished.
You know, it's funny. I downloaded Spotify for the first time for myself.
Good for you.
And I'm not paying anything for it. And it's playing all of the things that I want it to play.
There you go.
Like, I thought that all it was going to do was just play playlists based on your interests.
No.
Yeah, no, I was totally unaware of that.
Yeah.
So, I have my music back and I don't have to pay anything for it.
Boom! There you go.
Fuck Apple, iTunes, all that.
But yeah.
I'm done.
know,
I've taken a long break from podcasts because I'm tired of politics. I'm tired of the BS that's going on right now.
And here in a couple of months, it'll be the only thing that we are surrounded by, and then you will see me get really angry.
The political ads have already begun.
I know.
We're delivering them left and right. I already threw out ours, so don't worry about it.
Every morning I open Time Hop to see my memories, and every third panel is an ad for local politics. All because I went ahead and Googled that guy, and now I am bombarded with every ad he's ever put out.
I bet James Earl Jones is glad he doesn't have to deal with this shit anymore.
Rip.
What a guy.
Seriously.
Kind of want to watch The Sandlot now.
We can watch a bunch of James Earl Jones stuff. Yeah.
I have the whole... Well, not the whole, but I have episodes 1 through 6 on my Prime.
Well, we have episodes 1 through 9 on Disney Plus. Also.
But back in 2014, 15, whatever it was, there was a deal going on Prime where you could buy episodes 1 through 6, and then for each episode there was an additional 2 hours of behind the scenes bonus features. And I bought the collection for like $80, anticipating that I was going to watch all of it.
Yeah.
I still haven't watched nearly half of it.
In 2021, I was talking to a friend who is very obsessed with Star Wars and everything, and he convinced me to go back and watch the prequels and really watch them. And let me tell you, he was right. They are not nearly as bad as I thought they were when I first saw them. Not nearly as bad. There's a lot of exposition, but they're not nearly as bad. And I was like, huh.
I saw a clip this morning. He looked vastly different as a young man.
James Earl Jones?
He was tall. He was thin. And there's so much of his stage career that people who just watch Star Wars and The Lion King and The Sandlot don't even know about.
Yeah. Yeah. James Earl Jones was, he was a monumental person. And he still will be. Mm-hmm. He will forever be monumental. He'll be huge.
One with the Force.
He is one with the Force now.
It binds us. It penetrates us.
Yeah. But,
I have to go make my lunch.
Yeah.
So, this has been a good talk.
Yeah. It's been a little bit of a reclamation, I think. And,
thank you for your patience.
Well, it's all I have. But thank you out there in podcast land for listening to this episode of That Talking Podcast. Find us on social media, DT Andy and JJ Star. Events coming up. We'll be posting about those on social media. And be nice to each other. Be kind, be courteous, be safe, and be good. And from the three of us here at That Talking Podcast, I'm JJ Star.
And I'm Downtown Andy.
And we'll talk to you later.
Bye.